Most people seek in religion or spirituality or philosophy for some confirmation that there is something solid, stable, and fixed, something that will not die. In religion, they have things like souls and reincarnation and heaven and hell and afterlife. And in spirituality, you will find a lot of people saying things like, you are not the body, or you are not thoughts, you are not these feelings, you are source, or you are presence, or you are a true self, or timeless awareness, or pure consciousness. And all of these are just ideas based really on the fear of death. And that there is something solid and stable and permanent around which the rest of the world swirls. But they really are just bigger and more grandiose ideas of what self is, because self is really the fear of unknowing and the idea that there can be something done to reach a state of knowing or understanding or a place of rest. Because since you've been very small, the feeling grew and grew that you were separate, something separate, apart from everything else that's going on. And that belief is very strong. In fact, that is what the belief of self is. It's the belief in separation. So these spiritual teachings just confirm what you've always known, that there's a little kernel, something in there, in the brain, heart, I don't know, spirit somewhere in the ether, that there's something which never changes. And that feels good, because you think, well, I know that awareness has always been on, no matter what's ever been going on in my life. But this is still the belief in separation, because there is never ever awareness without the symphony of perception. And there is no thing called pure awareness. There are no things. The problem arises is when awareness is thought to be a thing, or consciousness is thought to be a thing, separate and apart from all the rest of things. But there simply are no things. All thingness, all ideas of separate things arise in the thought stream. Every word seems to grab hold of a part of this edgeless, fluid, uncountable, untraceable, unfettered, uncapturable symphony of perception and divide it into little bits. And that's very cool, because the thought stream creates a worded world, a virtual reality, a pseudo-reality, a magician's tale of separate things and events, time, and someone in it, a tale of me and you and love and beauty. Because this conceptual world is the only world we can know, because we're made-up beings as well. But it can be realized that all separation is indeed made up. But there's nothing you can do to have this realization, because you are like a little tiny piece of sky. You're made up. There are no pieces of sky. Every word is like a lightning bolt that seems to shatter the sky into a gazillion pieces. And when believed in, it's like every shard reflects this blue, and it's sharp, and it just stabs you in the heart. It really hurts. So when someone comes along and says, oh, you are this pure awareness, you are a soul, and you will never die, it feels very comforting. And that's beautiful, because most people live in a state of constant fear. I know I did. And if that assuages that, if it makes them feel better, that's wonderful. But there are some who will not rest with that, because it doesn't quite feel right. Because deep down there's a knowing a feeling that it is all fluid and that there is no time and that all there is and all there has ever been is simply this flowing, ever emerging, ever dissolving, momentary. You know that, don't you? You can feel it. And the knowing of that is so magical that this symphony of perception happens all by itself, and it is recognized immediately, spontaneously, quite naturally, simultaneously, as the perception happens. They're not separate. Awareness, perception, observer, observed. There's no silent witness. There's no little guy inside of your head looking out. All there is and all you can ever know is happening right now. And even now cannot be found, can it? Can you ever find the beginning and end to a thought or emotion? The beginning and end to a moment? Are there separate thoughts? Are there separate emotions? Are there separate moments? Is there really a you separate and apart from thought and feeling and this ever emerging momentary? Or is that all simply description? Is it all created by words? This shattered, worded world of separate things and events. You know that this is it, just as it seems to appear. And you know that there is no escape. There is no outside to this. And there's no one inside of you who can escape this beautiful life and your beautiful death.